Today we're doing seated chair exercises. There's tons of chair exercises you could do, both standing or seated. Today we're doing seated, so let me show you how. So all the exercises I'm going to show you today are going to be seated. So if you want to see another video with some of them standing, let me know in the comments box below. Alright, so on this first exercise, we're going to do arms out to the side, make small circles. So it's not too quick, we're not doing big circles, just small ones. Now if this bothers your shoulder for any reason, drop it down and make small circles from this angle. So you typically want to do 10 to 15 reps or 20 to 30 seconds. Okay? So the next move after this is alternating getting the knees up. So getting the knees up as high as you feel comfortable, alternate. So I'm not coming up and then go plunk. You want to alternate nice and controlled, deliberate motion in both directions. So you would do this one, same thing, 10 to 15 reps per side or 20 to 30 seconds. So now the kicker is I want you to do both at the same time, because this is pretty easy by itself, so is this. But now I want you to add both. So what that does is, because it helps with coordination, it's more of a mind-body connection. And then once again, to change it up a little bit, you just reverse the direction. Obviously you can't reverse the direction of the knees going up, but you can do it reverse direction with the arms. So like I said, down low if you have bad shoulders, up high if your shoulders are fine. Okay? So on the next exercise from this, what I want you to do is arms crossed, doesn't matter which one on top, and then you're going to go opposite elbow to knee. So I'm coming up, slight twist, up, slight twist. So it's very similar to a standing ab exercise. Obviously I'm not standing, I'm doing it seated. So as you can tell, I'm not even coming close to my knee because I don't want to lean down. That could potentially bother my back. So I'm still going to stay upright and do a slight twist as I bring my right elbow to left knee and then left elbow to right knee. Just like that. Okay? The next one, my arms up. And once again, if this bothers your shoulders, you could just have it this way. On this one, you are going to twist down a little bit more opposite side. This one's a little bit more advanced as far as the core is concerned. So if it's difficult, you could always skip this one or do another set of the previous exercise. So once again, as all of these are going to be 10 to 15 reps, 20 to 30 seconds each, either one. So if you have a clock to look at or a timer on your watch, whichever you prefer. All right, good. On this one, it's going to be strictly upper body. We're going to do two different variations of bicep curls. So on the first one, you want the palms facing forward. Back is, of course, nice and straight. Posture is tall. Curl up as high as you feel comfortable and back down. So the tempo on this one is going to be similar to, a cadence, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That way you don't have to go too slow, even though going slower is better than going too quickly. But this way you get the positive range of motion and the negative. So same thing applies as the other sets. You want to do 10 to 15 reps, or you could do 20 to 30 seconds. Okay, on the variation of this one, I want you to do where the palms are facing you, or thumbs are facing forward. So this one's called a hammer curl. So same thing, same tempo. Up, 1, 2, 3, down, 1, 2, 3. And typically on the exertion, which is the lifting weights part, because I could just let this go because of gravity, you want to exhale as you go up. So I take a big breath in, exhale as I come up, breathe in on the way down. Exhale as I come up, breathe in on the way down, just like that. So on this exercise, it's strictly lower body, and I recommend alternating, especially if you don't have a lot of experience working out, or you're recovering from an injury or heart attack or whatever it may be. Do it recommended by your doctor, of course, but rather than try and do a bunch of upper body back to back to back, so this gets overly fatigued, and then you might compromise form and technique, which increases the risk of injury. I recommend doing upper body, lower body, lower body, or just maybe 2 or 3 upper body and that's it, and then switch to lower body for a couple. But I wouldn't do the entire upper body back to back to back to back to back, and then switch to lower body. I would kind of alternate that. So enough of that. Now we're going to go to leg extension. So if this is not enough of a challenge, there's different ways to modify it. The first one I want you to do, once again, back is straight. You're going to extend up with both legs, down slowly. So the same tempo as the other exercises. 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 down. 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 down. And you're going to exhale as you lift the legs, inhale as you go back down. Now, one of the variations of this one is by alternating up, down, then the other leg, and down. What I also recommend, so you have a little bit better mind-body connection there, if I could speak, is up, hold for 1 or 2 count, and down. Up, hold to 1 and 2. You could either just hold it, or if you could flex that quadricep muscle, do so, and then back down. Up, 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, down. Up, 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000. It's just a way of making the legs work a little harder without adding resistance. Now, if you have ankle weights, you could add those to your ankles, and of course, that's going to make this one a little bit more difficult. So, in quick review, both legs at the same time, which you can also hold 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, and down, or alternate where one leg goes up, down slowly. Once again, the 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 down, just like that. On this exercise, we're going to do and focus on the calves. So you want the feet as close as you feel comfortable. You're going to raise up on the balls of your feet, which is just below the toes. That's the ball of the foot. So you're going to raise up, bringing those heels up as high as you can, and then control the descent. So same thing, 1, 2, 3 up. You can even give those calves a squeeze, and then down gently. Up as high as you feel comfortable, squeeze. Once again, 10 to 15 reps, or 20 to 30 seconds, whichever you prefer. Now, to make it a little bit more difficult, what you could try to do is alternate. I only say that's more difficult because for some, the body likes to do things at the same time. Like my hands like to go in circles. But if one's going up and one's going down, now that's taking a different mind-body connection, and both hemispheres of the brain have to work. So if I alternate sides, each one's working independently, which changes how your body connects with the mind. So both legs at the same time, working those calf muscles, or once again, alternating up, down. Another way you can do it is pointing the toes inward, up, down, or toes outward, so the heels are facing each other, up, and down. For upper body now, we're going to do another shoulder and arm exercise. I like to work the shoulders because it's the weakest joint in the body, and keeping this strong helps to keep the rotator cuff safer. Not in all cases, but for most people, the stronger the external part, the better it is. So what we're going to do on this one, arms fully extended with the palms facing inward. You could have it open-handed or make a fist. So what I'm going to do is, once again, posture is nice and tall. I'm going to come up to parallel, bring my hands together, and down to my lap. Up, no higher than parallel, to the side, and back down. So once again, I'm just going to alternate, nice and controlled range of motion. So I don't have to lift my arms above my head, although that is a good exercise as well, but in this one, I'm not going to have you guys do that one. So arms up, to the front, down. Up to the front, out to the side, and down. And once again, you notice my tempo isn't too quick. Now it's going to take longer than 3 because I'm kind of adding a lateral, front, and down, so it's technically 3 different exercises. But you want to go in a nice controlled motion. Keep your breathing as natural as possible. You could also come in and out this way. Or front raise. That's going to work the anterior, the front part of the shoulder. Or if your shoulders can handle it, laterally. Now on this one, I don't recommend going directly out to the side. You could come slightly forward, not overdoing it, but slightly forward, and then doing up and down this way. Another good shoulder exercise, so let me know what you think. For this lower body exercise, it's going to work the quads and the abs. So what I want you to do is you're gonna raise one leg up, like a leg extension as I showed you earlier. You're gonna go out as far as you feel comfortable, bring it back in. Now I'm doing it hands-free, but if you need to grip the side of the chair for a little bit more leverage, the key is to try not to let the leg dip down. The reason why I don't want to do that is because it's more difficult on the muscle. Now that may or may not sound like a good thing to you, but when it's tougher on the muscle, it's going to help both with strength and muscular endurance. Because if I let it drop, that makes it easier. Now if you have to, or for safety's sake, because you feel like you're going to fall out of the chair or something like that, definitely do what's come safe, or what's better for your well-being. But what you want to typically do to make the muscles work harder is put it under a higher demand. So if I let my leg drop, like I said, it's going to make it easier, but I want to typically try not to do that. So I do all on one side, same thing on the other side. Now, what you can do if you need to, you do one side, rest briefly in 15 to 30 seconds, and then do the same thing on the other side. However, for better endurance, if you could do all on one side without rest, immediately go to the other, that is going to be better for you overall. Once again, assuming that the doctor has given you clearance to do these exercises and that kind of thing. But you'll notice your heart rate gets up a little bit more when you do the exercises back to back, because obviously you don't have enough rest for your heart rate to come back down. And obviously if it's elevated a lot, then you definitely have to listen to your body or follow your doctor's recommendations. For this upper body exercise, we're going to hit the obliques. It's also going to work the shoulders and arms a little bit. So what you want to do, you definitely want to make sure you're safe on this. So we're going to start with the right hand. So my left hand's going to grab the chair. I'm going to have my feet about shoulder width apart. That gives me good stability. And I'm going to reach over as high as I feel comfortable. Now notice I'm not leaning. I don't want to fall out of the chair. I just want to hit the obliques. So I still keep my back on the chair support. Go over. Notice I'm not going quickly. Back down. Now I'm going to do all on the same side so I can feel these muscles working. Now you can alternate if you like. However, I like to get more muscular endurance by working one side first. Let it get a little fatigued, because in real life when you do things, you're not always going to be able to stop and rest, because the muscles are working, and you'll have to continue doing whatever you're doing or to get to whatever location you're trying to get to, and you may not have the luxury of stopping to rest. But if you notice my tempo, I'm going to switch sides. So right hand's here, left arm's up, over the top. So the same as other exercises. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So there's different ways of doing this one as well, but I recommend trying that one first, and let me know what you think in the comment box below. If you find this video helpful, that's awesome. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and don't forget you can watch other videos, and hopefully those are helpful too. Now if you have any suggestions, feel free to let me know. I'm happy to hear them, and I'll see you in the next video.